say a really inappropriate word and it goes live.
Hello, everyone. Theonie, we're live. Welcome to the show with no name. This is dreamed up by
Theonie Roussianos and
nothing like improv, to help people in your local community to raise their profile and encourage awareness and support for causes that matter to them and their communities. We also help not-for-profits, communities and service clubs to connect with their communities to raise brand awareness and help staff and volunteers working with them to become the best brand champions that they possibly could be. Oh my God, we've got another amazing show for you today, haven't we, Theonie?
We really, really do. Now, we have spoken with today's guest before. Adaire, I've got an echo.
Have you got an echo? That means it's at my end. So, and I don't have my headphones. Here we go. Absolutely. I can try these. Hang on.
Anyway, I'll keep talking while you sort yourself out. So today we've got the amazing Dr. Kim Taylor from Alta Vista in Virginia in the USA. Now, we spoke with Kim about a month ago now, I think it was. It'd be about a month ago, about the story of her grandson, Carson Taylor, who was diagnosed with chronic nephrotic syndrome when he was only 4 years old. Just before his 5th birthday, he spent his 5th birthday in hospital. And for his 6th birthday, now I'll get Kim to clarify this when she comes online. From memory, I think he actually spent.
Here.
I can't see Carson. Let's bring him up while I'm still talking.
Hello.
Hi.
So Carson, I can't see them yet, but that's okay. Hi, Carson. How you going?
Pretty good.
That's great to meet you. How's that echo, Theonie?
It's fine. Look what I've got to go with. # Team Carson.
Oh, and look what I've got. Kim, thank you so much. These came. I did want to wait till we actually were doing a live, so I think thank you.
You want to go get water real quick? I'll be back.
Okay. So Kim's some ladies, sorry about that interruption. So some ladies from Kim's book club, that wasn't an interruption, that was an awful word to use.
Okay.
Some ladies from Kim's book club started a global movement where Carson wanted to receive birthday cards from all over the world for his 6th birthday, and cards from all over the world he got. So to date, I read yesterday that you and the team with Carson have read in excess to 30, or received and read. I want to point out received and read in excess of 32,000 cards from all over the globe. That is crazy.
Isn't that amazing? I just
that is crazy in a good way.
And they're still coming every day.
Oh, far out.
Wow.
Now, his birthday was over a month ago. So Carson's birthday was the 7th of September. Is that right?
Correct. And we're still getting
the cards
every day.
That's crazy. I love it. I just love. Now, if you think that the world's losing its sense of community, you can think again, because it's really truly out there. It's still there, and people do care. This was just a project. I'm not sure. What were you actually expecting? What was the outcome you're expecting with the cards?
Well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Rose Marie is in the chat in here tonight. I see that she's made a comment. She was one of the ladies that started this. And upon talking to them, we were really expecting, we live in a town of only 3,000 people. So we were kind of expecting 200-300 cards. And within 2 days of this going on the local news, we had 5,000 on the front porch. And we're like, okay. And then we just I kept getting calls from friends on Facebook saying, hey, I just saw you on TV. I'm like, wait a minute. And then it went viral. And once we got on your show, we've received about 500 cards from Australian friends since we did your first show with you. But I want to show this because I told Theonie I was going to do it. This is the card that started it all with you guys, that Theonie sent to us. And I just kind of want to show you a little bit how when we first started opening the cards, we were like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this? So then maybe day 2, we decided a system. So we decided international, states, whatever. Just a minute, babe. So when Theonie's came in, I put Australia in the corner. You probably can't see it. But then I also put, she sent me this beautiful note here that I read. And as soon as I read this note that said, to Kim and Carson's parents, it asked about being Facebook friends. So then I went and I said, already friended her on Facebook. And then the next morning I wake up to Theonie's message, hey, you want to be on our show? So I do have the card that started it all with you guys. And these are just, this is just kind of an estimate of what we're getting daily still.
Wow.
If you can see this.
Yeah.
And, we're getting them from all, we're getting them not just from people. I mean, this right here was one that Carson picked. I don't know if you can see this. I'll try to show it. But
Let me just put you on solo. Just pop it up again. Let's have a look.
This came from a dog. I mean, the family clearly did a lot of work, because they did a whole storybook for Carson from the dog. But the only thing was they didn't put the return address on it. So we did get a lot of cards like that, and we're okay with that, because we felt like if they wanted us to know where they were, they would let us know. And in saying that, with the 32,400 plus cards that we've gotten, several people that sent the cards did request to get verification we received them. So what we've been doing now, and we finally called up today, is those people that had like the same birthday as Carson, we'd write it on the card, we'd throw it to the side. Those that had kidney disease, we put it on the side. So far what we've done is we've responded to everyone that's written to us that had kidney disease. And what we've done is we've written them a note from Carson with sending them a wristband without them even asking. So we want people to know that we are, like you said, we are reading everything we get. And if we wouldn't have, we would have never connected with you. So that is, the rule here. Once those cards come in, my daughter gets them, and we open them, and then the whole family looks at them, and then we'll read them to Carson tonight. So that's kind of how we're doing this now. But it took us 2 or 3 days into this to get a system going. But yeah, it was phenomenal. And the cards are still coming, and it's not just birthday cards now. Some of them are Halloween cards. Some of them are just get well cards, and he's got like 5 pen pals. People wanted to be his pen pals, so we're doing pen pals. So he's got 5 right now, and they're sending him little gifts in the mail, and then he's sending back a little gift, like a little bracelet that he made. He's making little bracelets now himself. So we're sending these out to his pen pal friends.
That's just gorgeous.
So we're trying to let the people that were so kind to us know that, hey, we hear you. We are responding to you as much as possible. Clearly we couldn't respond to 32,000 people, but we just want people to know that we are so appreciative for these cards, because since Carson has started getting these cards, we have noticed a little improvement in his health. Not to where we can, say, hey, we're not going to need a transplant, but we have seen some better behavior. He has something to look forward to every day because he has cards to open and look at. And it's just making him realize that, yes, the world is made up of good people.
Yes, and we have our favorite hashtag is "It Takes a Village."
Oh yes.
Hashtag "It Takes a Village," and we've got a global village happening here, haven't we? This is amazing.
Absolutely, and it took us a village to open these cards, because I have a small family, and when Carson was diagnosed back in, you're gonna come in here and then scoot in close to me, babe. When Carson was first diagnosed, I think I said this in the first time we met, that we decided that we would do this as a family. We're not doing this. He's not fighting this alone. So now we're doing this as a world, because every time someone signs on to Team Carson or sends a card or a message, we try to reciprocate and let them know, hey, you're with us. And that lets us know as a family that we're not fighting this alone. And you ladies have been phenomenal, teaching me the technology is a plus. I really appreciate that.
Carson just came in and did this.
He's in and out, so
So can I ask him what does that mean?
Carson, your question. Come here. They want to know what that means. Come here.
When you go like that.
Gaga's a little bit behind on some things with him. Come here, baby. But
because we're not cool. We're not cool, hip, happening kids. We need Carson to teach us something. We'll teach you technology. Carson can teach us how to cool.
Carson, come here, babe. Come here, sweetie. They want to ask you a question. But with regards to the cards, we just want everybody to know how appreciative we are. Keep sending those cards, because we're enjoying those, and he's enjoying seeing those. Can you see him, or do you need to leave him?
We can.
Carson, hello, honey. What does this mean?
Love you.
Love you. Beautiful.
Aww, love you
so
too.
Sweet. Thank you. And back to you.
This is Theonie and this is Adaire. Remember the nice little ladies from Australia that are helping to share your story.
Yeah, I know.
And they're teaching your crazy gaga how to use the internet.
Whoa.
with regard, can y'all still see him?
Yeah, we can. Perfect.
I'll just hang on. I'll just pop you on solo. There you go. Now we can see you.
With regards to what's going on with him physically, he is on the pre-transplant medications. He remains on the steroids because we tried to taper him, and we were so positive a couple weeks ago we'd gotten him down to 5 milligrams. We're like, yes, this is going to be it. But unfortunately, he started swelling, put on about 30 pounds of fluid, and we had to up him back up to 20 milligrams, which is where he has been at for the last 8 months. So unfortunately, he's not responding like we would like him to, but we're not giving up hope. So what we're doing in this journey is we want to make sure that we have everything in place in the event those kidneys do shut down completely. We've got our team ready. Watch out, baby. Come on, stay in the picture here, sweetie. So that's kind of what we're doing with this. You know, we go back to see his nephrologist next week. She and I are going to have what I call a come to Jesus meeting because I'm not really pleased with some of the things that she's doing. And I think it's time that we look at some other interventions in terms of just, the medicating with the steroids. Because she's, what, baby? Just a minute, I'll let you talk. He wants to tell me things, so I'm trying to get him to sit still, but this is how he is.
I know it's hard. Now
I can't get my 11-year-old to sit still, so I don't know how you're expecting to keep a 6-year-old still. It's all good.
He's throwing his ball up here, and he's this is this time where we give him some free time at night, where he's after dinner he's allowed to come outside and run and be crazy for about 30 minutes, and then he'll get ready for bed. And once he hits the bed, he's out, and that's kind of why we let him run wild about now. But
I did want to show.
We're lucky to meet him.
We were. Now, I did want to show, we all on screen, Adaire?
We are all on screen. I'm losing my voice.
Okay. Oh, that's a shame.
You can sit down. You need to sit down, okay? Sit down, baby.
So I did want to say, you mentioned earlier about not losing hope, and which I just wanted to bring this up on screen. Now, I had to drop my car off for a service this morning, and I was like, I'm walking home. I haven't got a backpack. And I went, yes, I have.
Yay.
So this came with me. So hope for my kidney.
That is gorgeous.
With hashtag Team Carson down the bottom. So that is coming with me wherever I go.
Thank you so much.
And I am going to hand some of these out.
We'll be wearing the wristbands.
A few of these wristbands, and I am going to hand them out. They're a great idea.
Thank you.
I did want to say we've actually got a poll running, and it's only going to be going while we're live. The poll, I don't know if you can see that there. I've popped it in into the broadcast. If you know someone who has been affected by kidney disease, you can click yes. And if you're on your phone, you'll find the poll down the bottom of the broadcast. If you are on your, the phone's ringing. That was, whoops. And if you find on your PC, you put this broadcast into theatre mode. So you click on it and make it large, and then you can just hover your mouse anywhere in the screen, and it will come up in the top right-hand corner, a little purple circle that will help you vote. So I see Theonie's doing that now.
You can see that I've got my phone down below me.
Yeah, it's lucky you're not driving, because people...
I can't see it, and I'm not going to go off the screen because I know I'll mess something up.
No. You can't see it from BeLive. I've got my phone happening in the background.
Okay.
So I can do that too. And I think while we play with our phones, Kim, if you want to share a little bit more about some the things that you've got planned to, because what really impressed me with people like Theonie and of course yourself and other amazing people who don't let it steamroll them. I mean, you have your ups and your downs, but you are getting up, you are doing things, you are actively looking for solutions to a a very distressing situation. And so some of the things that you are doing, like Theonie's just shown, she's got the bag, we've got the stress balls, we've got the wristbands. So can you just share a bit why and what's the purpose of these and how that's part of your strategy to move forward?
Well, pretty much when the wristbands came into focus before the actual birthday drive, the birthday cards, because when we had cancer, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and thyroid cancer. I'm a 5-year survivor now, and shortly after I was diagnosed, a friend of mine bought wristbands and gave them out in the community. Prayers for Kim, as she fight. And I thought, that was wonderful. So I thought, you know what? Let's tell Carson's story. Let's just order a couple hundred of these bands and let's see if we can give them out. Well, 12 orders later, we can't keep them in stock. These are being worn by people all over the world. We've got, matter of fact, the ones that I've sent you, the only ones that I have left now are the pink and the black and the little bitty one, the skinny ones. So we have 3,000 on order that are due in any day this week. We just can't keep them in stock because people want to wear them. And we went out to dinner tonight, and the restaurant that we went to, every one of the staff members had their bracelet on that Carson gave them a month ago. And when he sees that, he knows, you know what, these people are thinking about me. And what we've asked when people wear these wristbands is tell people Carson's story. Tell them this is a little 6-year-old boy that's fighting a lifetime battle of a kidney disease. Say a prayer, share a story, and that perks him up. And, I can't tell you, as being, the grandmother guardian, when I see people in the community wearing his bracelet, I get excited. I'm like, oh, yes, hey, and people will post pictures on Twitter and Facebook, and even some celebs have posted some pictures. I'm like, oh, my gosh, that's Carson's wristband there, and he sees that, and that goes back to the village, the community, the support, because Team Carson is not just me and Carson and my family. Team Carson is us in the world right now, because anyone that asks or is willing to wear a wristband or say in a prayer, we're considering them part of our family, because it is a family component right now. Just a second, sweetie. So that's kind of what the purpose of the wristbands are. He's going to push me out of the way here. Can you still see us both?
We can still see you both, yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So what we do with the wristbands is we're pretty much just letting the wristbands kind of do the talking for us. We've had several, when they did the birthday drive, we had a lot of businesses that sent Carson wristbands. And I'm talking not local businesses, because we have like 2 here in town. But I'm talking businesses around the United States. And one business in particular, travel centers across America, is like the truck stops that are like all across the United States. We got probably 600-700 cards from those locations.
Can y'all guys hear me out there?
They can hear you and they can see you. and so we're getting a lot of support from not just individuals but businesses.
That's so sweet.
And
I
that's
love you all.
I love you back.
Can you get Carson to say that again? It sounds so gorgeous.
Hey, Carson, say it again, baby.
And I thank y'all for wearing my wristbands.
Thank
you for sending them to us. And I did get one in my favorite color. Thank you so much.
And
yes.
And we have the green. We have like these kind now.
We sent them. They're the pink ones. We did the pink ones and the black ones. The black ones for Halloween. The pink ones for breast cancer. We've got red and black coming in. We've got neon green. We've got lots of different colors coming in. Watch that, sweetie.
I want some.
So what we're doing with the wristbands is the wristbands are doing a lot of the talking for us, because what we've done now.
This is the one handmade. Right here.
We showed it to them. I think we showed it to them. Okay.
The bead ones.
He's making them for some people that are requesting them. So back to your question about the wristbands, they are pretty much talking for us, because people that are wearing them now, what we've done is we've changed the message that we're putting on each one of them. Like the breast cancer one says, kidney disease warriors. And before we were just doing the hope for my kidney. So what we're doing now is we're actually reaching out. You may have seen this on social media. We're asking some of the people that have gotten some of the bands, what message would you like to see on the wristband? So we're changing it up some. And like the yellow one, I'm not sure if I sent y'all the yellow one or not. If I didn't, I will. Because yes, that one.
It's beautiful. It's got the Carson Project. It's got a beautiful, I love the butterfly here. It's got a butterfly on it.
Now the butterfly has a significance for Carson and I. Carson and I love to study birds and nature, and my mother loved nature. And when she passed away, when we went to her grave the next day, I'm still dealing with her grief. A butterfly perched on the flowers, and every time I picked flowers from each of her arrangements, and that butterfly kind of followed me around. So the butterfly to me is my mom. And when I'm having a really bad day, I'll come outside and I kid you not, if I start crying, I'm like, God, I need a sign. A butterfly will swoon by me. So that's kind of what we're using the butterfly for. But the Carson Project, I want to speak a little bit about that because y'all mentioned that in the beginning.
This is what the fire department or the police gave me.
You know what? Let me finish this, and then I'm gonna let you talk to them a little bit. How's that? Let's make a little deal here. But the Carson Project, what the Carson Project is that's the documentary that has been filmed on Carson. And as you can see, he's not camera shy, which we were afraid he was. The Carson Project, actually, producers out of Georgia reached out to us about 8 months ago because we put Carson's story out there on Facebook, and when at first my page was private, and then when we started getting people wanting the wristbands, I made it public. And so they reached out to me and they called me. They said, "Can I call you?" So of course I said, "Sure." And they called me. They said, "We want to come and we want to do a documentary on Carson." So I said, "Well, let's talk about this because I don't want anybody thinking that we're kind of for profiting off of Carson's illness." So they said, "No, let's talk." I said, "So come on to town and we'll talk about it." So we sit down and we talked about this. And what the goal of the Carson Project is a documentary that we did agree to. They stayed with Carson a week, 24/7. And they filmed the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because like now you see Carson, he's running, he's talking, he's crazy, he's acting like a normal 6-year-old. But after he has his nighttime routine, his legs are going to hurt. He's going to be crying in pain with stomach ache. He's going to have a headache. And this is just stuff that comes around with kidney disease. So the only requirements that we set for these guys filming this Carson Project was do not edit anything he says to you. So when they interviewed him, of course, I watched the whole interview, and of course it's in post-production now, and I will let you all know when it's going to come out, so hopefully we can maybe premiere it on this show maybe.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And it's basically going to show people how he feels about this disease. I can sit here all day as a medical provider and say, hey, this is blah, 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 blah. But when I watched him answer those questions, we did not cue him. We did not teach him. We did not, prepare him. We just said, go straight at him with your questions. And like I said, the biggest requirement we had was do not edit anything he says out to make it more, I don't want to use the word more sellable or whatever, but I want you to use his words as he says them. And they asked him, how did he feel? And just some of the things that he said, I didn't know. And I'm sitting over in the chair just boo-hooing, crying, and he's like, I got you, Gaga, I got you, you good, we're going to be good through this thing. So he's there being like a movie star, able to answer these questions for, 24 hours a day. And I'm sitting there boo-hooing in 10 minutes of interview. And he comes up and he hugs me and he says, you know what? I've got this. We've got this. We're going to do this. And he's such a sweetheart because when he leaves to go to school in the morning, I cry because, I'm just very emotional, and I'm still trying to deal with this whole diagnosis myself because I can't fix him. And he'll give me one of his stuffed animals and say, here, Gaga, hug this today while I'm gone. When I come home, I'll be here. And that's kind of, where we are with this whole thing. But this Carson Project, we hope that it will go viral, and it's going to serve two purposes. The first of which is to tell the story in his point of view. Hey, I'm a 5-year-old. They filmed it when he was 5. And his 5th birthday, he was in a coma. So he told a lot about that because they said to him, what do you want for your birthday? And that's when he would start talking about the cards and stuff. And he told how he felt as a 6-year-old with this disease in a manner that I've seen clips of this post production, and I'm telling you, if you have a heart, you're going to be crying. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do we want the whole world crying when they see this story? But it's
I'm
the
crying
truth.
now. I don't know how I'll cope watching your story or his story.
Well, and that's just it, and that's why, we were so, I set the family down and I said, look, they want to Carson, we will own the per se rights to it, so that they can't take it and manipulate it and all this stuff. But the biggest thing that we said was it's got to be in his own words. You can ask me any question you want. I may or may not be able to answer you. And they did. Some of the questions they asked me were very tough. He sat there like a pro answering them because he's the one that's feeling the pain. He's the one that, has to, I hate to use the word, pee in a cup every morning for me to stick in. He's the one that, is up all night. These steroids are wreaking havoc on him. So the one aspect of this documentary is the health part. Hey, we want to show you Carson Taylor, a 5-6-year-old kid with it's pretty much a lifetime sentence with him. It's not curable. We are going to end up with a transplant, unfortunately. We don't know when. But that's the one part, is dealing with his health. But as we talked the first night, I want to turn this into something positive. So what we're going to do in the second part of it, and it's kind of like maybe 3 parts, but the second part is we're going to take this campaign of Team Carson globally into an anti-bullying, chronic illness, how to deal with kids with chronic illness, how to deal with bullies. And my business plan that I'm kind of working out with another company is, within 18 months, I hope we have people traveling the world on behalf of Carson, telling how not to bully. This is what this kid went through. This is what we need to do. And the final aspect is that's going to be our kickoff, where we're going to have to go into a fundraising mode, because the medical expenses are very, very intense here. And even with excellent insurance here in America, the 80-20 does cut you hard. And when he was in the hospital the first time, for those 30 days in ICU, I mean, we're looking at $1.5 million bucks.
Wow.
And, so can I clarify something here, Kim? Because our health system here is a lot different to what it is over there. Right. So while Carson was hospitalised, you still have, now you've got private health insurance over there. You personally, I'm not talking about the states, but you personally have private health insurance. And now I'm not I haven't got my head around completely Medicaid and Medicare and the system over there entirely, but still in a hospital, you have, with your insurance, you still have 20% out-of-pocket expenses. Now, this is something people in Australia need to get their head around. So in a public hospital here, we don't pay anything. If you go to a private hospital, then you'll have, now I'm talking about people who have private health insurance for hospital cover, you'll pay whatever your excess is. So it's kind of like a co-payment. It might be $500, it might be $200, it might be $1,000, whatever it is. Then everything's covered, except for you might have some surgical fees and that kind of thing, but they're quite minimal. So to think that you could be out of pocket, you said it's in excess of $200,000.
Right. And our insurance is the top
something you can't help. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You have to be there. You can't not take him to hospital. Right.
And there is Medicaid systems in America, and he could qualify for that, but if he did, and I hate to bash anyone, but we would not get the best of care. I mean, that's just a fact, the fact of life, And right now, the medical team that we have is not just a nephrologist. We've got a primary care doctor, we've got an orthopedic doctor, we've got a heart doctor, we've got the dentist. He's got this kidney disease that he has does not just affect his kidneys. So we've got 8 or 9 specialists on board here, but we also got to take into consideration when he was first hospitalized, he had 3 surgeries. And unfortunately, I hate to say that some of my colleagues, they need to get paid too. So, unfortunately in America, and it's hard because as being a provider, for me, it's not about the money. But unfortunately, a lot of doctors, it is. And, that's why I live in a small town. I've always worked in a small town. I've always practiced in a small town. So, we don't get $1 million paychecks here. So we do have the 80-20 coverage, and Medicaid, if he had that, is not even going to pay that 20%, because in America, and it's I'll email y'all a lot of this information in the purpose of time here, but just to make it quick and short, there's Medicare, which is for older individuals and disabled individuals. Those are most elderly individuals who do have that. Still, Medicare pays 80%, and an older person would have to pay 20% out of pocket. A lot of older people don't have that. They're living on, Social Security or their retirement. Now, we have private insurance that we purchase. We pay $1,000 a month for it, just for my family. That is because, Carson is ill. But with that being said, they only pay 80% of what the doctors in the hospital charge. And so Medicaid comes along and they look at, okay, the first surgery he had was to take his appendix out because they thought that was what was wrong with him. So the doctor charged $8,000 to take his appendix out. Well, I look at that and say, well, that's highway robbery. Medicaid looks at that and says, it's only worth $1,000. So if Medicaid was his primary insurance, they would only pay up to $1,000. But that doctor that charged me $8,000 still wants that $7,000. And that's kind of where it gets kind of iffy. And people, even here in America, people are writing to me saying, we want to donate for Carson. I'm like, wait, give us a little bit of time. We're going to put a link up for donations, where it's all monitored by accountant, the attorneys and all that stuff, because, we don't want to focus on that, but we need to actually be realistic because we do need to pay those bills.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening now.
I understand this will all be live after the documentary is out there.
Yes,
and ready to be premiered. So that will be used in conjunction. Well, not used, but shared.
We've gone over time, and we do like to keep it half an hour. What I'm talking about is really, really important, Kim, and I think we'll have you as a regular guest on the show. But I did want to talk about the stuff that's happening here, because the stuff that Theonie's involved in with her husband, who's got a rare kidney disease as well, is the research that we're raising funds for. Has possibly, so we've got the situation where it's awful. We've got Carson with the kidney disease. We've got this huge medical bills, and you do it because you have to do it, and it's amazing that you are doing what you're doing. And we'll get you over the line somehow. we will, because it does take a village. I did want to touch on the research that's happening, because it is, while it is, and I don't know a huge amount about it, but I do know that being on a fundraising committee, there are so many people out there that are doing things that are absolutely amazing to contribute to the research that's going to help in some way, shape or form. Now, Theonie is a driver of this. So, Theonie, did you want to make mention of this? Because I think it's really, really quite important part, an aspect of the whole picture.
Yeah, so not to hijack the importance of Carson's story, I think these are both quite complementary. So the research they're doing here will benefit the world. If they find cures for diabetes and better ways to treat people with kidney disease, diabetes, and everything that goes along with it, it will benefit the world. It's not just a local, they're not only treating the locals here. I did want to bring up, so last year's ball, we had the inaugural ball last year in October, which was a year ago or in a few days' time. We raised just under $50,000 for Kidney Transplant and Diabetes Research Australia. Now, just to put into perspective what these people do, this was shared on LinkedIn a month ago by the Hospital Research Foundation, which now Kidney Transplant Diabetes Research Australia is an affiliate program of theirs. They can, now I'm just looking at LinkedIn here just to make sure that I don't get what I'm about to say incorrect. So they contributed through, so they got grants. So there's some of the fundraising. I only found out the other day that the ball that we're organising now, we're community fundraisers. We don't work for the charity or the organisation. We just decided to give up our time because, well, I decided to give up my time initially because my husband was affected, but it snowballed into something much bigger than us. And so they've contributed funding. So this is the Hospital Research Foundation to Australia's first 3D bioprinter for organs, which is to be located at the Royal Adelaide Hospital. So the renal unit at the Royal Adelaide Hospital have got that. It's not going to be long before people like Carson aren't going to have to wait for a compatible donor when the time comes and they need a kidney. The way technology is going, soon enough we'll probably be growing our own kidneys. And so this is what their research is all about. And so this is what we're all about. So Professor Toby Coates, who's Jerry's nephrologist, is on our fundraising committee as well, which means that we've got access to all of his networks, and he tells all his people that they have to buy tables and tickets to the ball, and they have done so. It helps because, you've just got that other person with credibility who's working with the, on the project directly, researching directly. That was the word I was thinking of, and it just wasn't coming to me. And so these are just some of the things that they're doing. So the money, I think it's important for people to know where the money goes and what it does. And without funds, they can't research. So, this is why we need to raise money. And I mean, without money, you need the money also. As far as the family goes, you need the money to be able to access the treatments and things that you need. The researchers need money for research because it all costs money. And so that's the purpose. Small line, because we are over time. That's the, the Cliff Notes version of the purpose of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And so if you want to support the ball now, I know, Kim, you have been extremely generous with this ball as well, and sending us a basket to auction off at the live auction on the night from the USA. And I just can't tell you enough how much I burst. I'm an emotional roller coaster anyway. Mm-hmm.
Well,
I'm an emotional wreck at the best of times.
You're doing wonderful. I mean, I read your post earlier, and I know. I mean, I'm giving you a big hug across the ocean. You're wonderful for doing this. And what you said, you said something that struck me was, it kind of like when you have a family member that it's affected, it like ignites something in you that, yes, you've got to deal with the health, but you've got to take this step further. And that's what you've done. You're raising money, for what is needed. I hope to one day be able to go back full-time practicing, doing nothing but research for kidneys. But right now, my whole time is with Carson. And with these fundraisers, we've got several lined up. I'll keep posting them. Dara's going to help me a little bit with the pages and stuff. We've had several groups that have reached out and said, we want to do a fundraiser for Carson. I'm like, put the brakes on it. We want to do it. Hang on. We're happy to do it. And I know you're over time, but you may have seen a weird face when Carson came up. He brought me a whole hand of earthworms, and I'm like, okay, go back. So I didn't want her to think that I was shooing my grandson away. It's like, oh, take it away from me, So he's got these. So he is a typical 6-year-old boy, but he's got a kidney disease. And I'll end this with, we've gone out and we have haters. People. Well, he doesn't look like he needs a transplant. Well, you know what? Guess what? If you want to see his labs, I'll spend 6 hours explaining them to you. But I don't need to explain those to you. It's like. He doesn't need a transplant. No, he doesn't right now, but he's going to. So this is what we want. We want Carson playing with earthworms, okay? But I know that tonight at midnight, Carson's going to be up from midnight to 6 a.m., hurting. I can't stop it. It's an everyday thing. So this is kind of what I'll say to you, Theonie. Stay positive. You're doing everything you can for your husband. And I'm going to get to Australia as soon as this kid's passport comes in. We're coming. And we're going to come, and we're going to come, and we'll stay, as long as we can, and, visit some of these places, because we need to do this. Yes, y'all's healthcare is different, but this is a global issue. And, it affects all of us. So, yes, you will see me. We are happy to contribute to your ball, and we're going to be sending you some other stuff from Team Carson, and we really are thankful that y'all are giving us this airtime. And I would like to y'all consider maybe premiering this documentary when it comes out on your program, because that will get a lot of good.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. Thank you so much, Kim. So if you one thing I did want to say, if you'd like more information on the ball, the link is above to the Facebook event, and the ticketing link is within the Facebook event. But if you search AHUS Awareness Ball 2018, as in 2018, that is the name of the Facebook event. But the link is above, and the ticketing link is within that event. So it's selling tickets through.
Yes. So sorry, Theonie, talking over you. No.
Don't be sorry. Buy me something.
I'll buy you a coffee. I'll buy you a decaf coffee. A wasted on coffee. The other thing is, Carson's just got a page set up. Kim's just set up a page. It's called Carson's Hope for a Kidney, and that link is above as well. So even if you just want to show your support by clicking on it, going to the page, clicking like, and sharing with your friends. So that way, because it takes a village, and everybody you don't know who sees it. So even if all you can do is share, just do that. Like and share. That's at the very least. Yes. That would be awesome. So if you're watching,
so like and share Carson's page. Now it's my turn to talk over you, because I'm Greek and that's what WOGs do. I'm going to like and share. So like and share Carson's page. Like and share the event. come to the event. If you can't attend, if you're not available on the 3rd of November but would like to know any other way you can support, we are still accepting cash donations and donations to the live auction, silent auction and raffle. So if you want to support in any other way, please get in touch with either Adaire or myself, because she's on my committee as well. So either of us can help you in that way.
And we talk over each other there as well.
Yeah. We're going to be sending a gift basket, but we're also, Team Carson is going to be sending a cash donation in to your committee, as you know, if you need that for other stuff.
For that, but thank you.
Already done. Somebody else is doing that for me.
And we'll be helping you. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this evolves, because really we're on the beginning of the journey and we just don't know how or where it can end up. But I've got a feeling that there could be some really, really positive outcomes out of a really difficult, or a couple of really difficult situations that are going to help more than just a couple of people. So it's going to have a global impact. So I love the movement. Yeah. Team Carson, the project. Thing on this one, the Carson Project, yay.
Hashtag the Carson Project.
And as we get new wristbands in, I'll ship some over to you all, and I'll send some extras to you guys as well. Because like I said, we're ordering each week. I mean, I can't keep them in. The demand right now, I've got like 2,000 ready to be waiting to be mailed out. You know, I got, as soon as they come in, they're gone. So thank you guys so much. We love you all. And we thank you so much.
Thank you.
There we go. There's one for Carson. Okay.
He's collecting earthworms, so
we'll just pop you into the lobby, Kim, and then just don't go anywhere. We'll have a catch up after we wind the show up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Oh my God. I don't know if you could see them, but I tried to hold back the tears and then I couldn't. So yeah, thanks, Kim. I love a good Thursday morning tear up. It's because these stories are real stories affect me. And I mean, I get the whole dealing with, you know, from Kim's perspective, caring for someone who's dealing with a life-threatening chronic illness.
Yes. Yeah.
And from Carson's perspective, Jerry would know how that feels, and not entirely though, because he's a kid.
Yeah.
And he doesn't understand, you know. Jerry's had a whole childhood and life of being, you know, as healthy as anyone can be, and then he's sick. Whereas Carson, in a way, the way I feel about it, he's not lost his childhood, but it is affecting his childhood. Yeah. And, you know, anyway, it just gets me.
Kim's there nodding as well. So while we go and look for the tissues, we'll no, it's really cool that we can do this and bring to light and share some stories and help each other. So please do share, please like, please invite your friends, people who, I did have a little poll there, which is gone now. Oh, well, hang on, I'll just say it there. Do you know anyone who was affected by kidney disease? I can't see how many people have voted, but I can take that out. I'll end the poll now. So, and I think that's a very new feature. So it's something that we'll probably be doing a little bit more of to get people involved and to get your opinion on things. So, whoa, time to go.
It is.
Time to go.
So it is. So thank you so much, and for Kim for joining us, and also for Carson for jumping on. And we do appreciate seeing you, and we love you too, buddy.
This is a show with no name. I'm Adaire Palmer, and
I'm Theonie Roussianos, and we'll see you same time, same place next week.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.